The Trinity of the Unknown. Human beings have always lived beside the unknown. We feared it, worshipped it, studied it, told stories about it, and sometimes pretended we had solved it when we absolutely had not. Mystrikism takes a different route. While it has roots in naturalism and shares naturalism's inference that reality is governed by natural laws rather than supernatural forces, Mystrikism accepts this view because natural explanations have consistently shown greater predictive reliability and explanatory power than supernatural claims. Its distinct focus, however, is the unknown itself as a source of meaning and inspiration. Like existentialism, it acknowledges uncertainty and embraces the search for individual purpose, but it finds value in the mystery itself rather than in creating fixed answers. Mystrikism is also similar to agnosticism in its admission of what cannot be known, but goes further in framing the unknown not as a problem to be solved, but as something to be respected and approached with deep curiosity. It does not treat the unknown as a hiding place for gods, spirits, cosmic minds, or supernatural forces. It treats the unknown as the great open edge of reality, the thing that keeps us curious, humble, and awake. In that sense, the unknown sits at the center of Mystrikal, meaning purpose and naturalized spirituality. It is not an answer. It is the reason we keep asking better questions. Facet 1. Aweism, rational inspiration. Aweism is the Mystrikal response to those moments when reality stops feeling ordinary. Standing under a huge night sky, watching an eclipse, hearing a piece of music that seems to hit some deep, wordless part of you. Sitting quietly and thinking about how strange it is that anything exists at all. These experiences can feel spiritual without needing a supernatural explanation tacked on. There are plenty of physical pleasures we understand reasonably well. A good meal, sex, exercise, warmth, and sleep. They are real and valuable. No need to be a gloomy little monk about it. But Aweism points to a different sort of experience, the kind that feels bigger than ordinary satisfaction. It has wonder in it, sometimes joy, sometimes even a little existential vertigo. Mystrikism does not claim these experiences come from another realm. They arise from natural beings encountering a natural universe that is still far beyond full comprehension. The feeling is real, but interpretation still has to behave itself. That means we do not get to explain these moments by inventing supernatural forces or stretching the facts to fit personal wishes. Our interpretations, however meaningful, should stay within rational and empirical boundaries. We honor the experience, but remain honest about what can truly be known. Aweism, then, is not supernatural spirituality. It is the honest awe of a mind that knows it is standing in front of something immense. Facet 2. Purpose, the search that never really ends. Mystrikism does not reduce life's purpose to merely the preservation of life and the pursuit of pleasure. Those are biological facts, not the whole story of what sapient beings can become. For mystrics, one of the deepest purposes of intelligent life is to uncover and understand the unknown. We are creatures that ask. We pull things apart, test them, name them, map them, argue about them, and then discover that the map was only a corner of the territory. Science shows this beautifully. Every major discovery answers something, but it additionally raises new questions. The atom was not simple. Space was not empty. Life was not fixed. The mind is not transparent to itself. Reality keeps refusing to be small enough for our comfort. That is part of the point. This search shows up everywhere, in scientists probing matter, in astronomers looking into deep time, in people trying to understand consciousness, grief, memory, language, or why music can make the chest tighten. Not all inquiry happens in a laboratory, though the laboratory remains one of our best tools. Sometimes the search begins with a telescope, sometimes with a microscope. Sometimes a child asks an annoyingly good question at the dinner table. Carl Sagan put it beautifully. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Symbolically, that line fits Mystrikism almost perfectly. Human consciousness is not magic, but it is still extraordinary. Matter has organized itself into beings that can look back at the universe and wonder what it is. That does not make us the center of existence. If anything, it should knock that idea out of us. But it does give our curiosity a kind of natural dignity. We are not here to pretend we already know. We are here to keep finding out. Facet 3. The infinite unknown as our higher power. For a mystrik, the unknown is treated as the only kind of higher power or concept a naturalistic philosophy can honestly accept. That phrase can sound dangerous if it is handled badly. It can easily drift into religious language. Some may object that equating the unknown with a higher power risks slipping back into metaphysical territory or simply dressing old ideas in new clothes. This is a valid concern and deserves to be taken seriously. The intention here is not to sneak in supernatural assumptions, but to acknowledge that what lies beyond our knowledge is immense and powerful in a natural sense, not a mystical one. The unknown is not a person. It has no mind, no will, no plan, no moral agenda, and no interest in our little dramas. Yet it is greater than us. The scale of what we do not know is enough to humble any honest person. It gives our pride, ego, and hubris the domestication they badly need, placing them back inside a wider and more honest perspective and sensible proportion. Our lives are brief. Our senses are limited. Our brains are useful but flawed. Our theories are powerful, yet always incomplete, flawed, and provisional. Even our best knowledge is surrounded by a border of ignorance. For a skeptical, naturalistic person, this may be the only higher power that makes sense. Not a supernatural ruler, but the immensity of reality beyond our present understanding, not to mention awareness. That is not mystical fog, it is a sober recognition of our position. Scientific history keeps teaching the same lesson. We explain one thing, and the explanation exposes a deeper structure. We solve one problem, and the solution creates sharper questions. Good science does not abolish mystery, it refines it. It turns vague wonder into better wonder. In Mystrikism, reverence for the infinite unknown supports humility, honesty, and awe. It asks us to admit what we do not know without rushing to occupy the silence with comforting inventions. It also pushes us forward. The unknown is not something to kneel before. It is a natural aspect of reality, to be faced, studied, respected, savored, and ultimately unveiled. What the unknown gives us. Mystrikism reframes the infinite unknown as a natural source of meaning, not a metaphysical object floating beyond reality. For example, when faced with an ethical dilemma at work, like deciding whether to speak up about a mistake that could affect a project's outcome, a mystrik might draw inspiration from the idea that admitting what is unknown or uncertain is itself an act of integrity. Instead of claiming certainty, they would favor honesty, curiosity, and openness to learning, even if it means sitting with uncomfortable questions. In practical terms, this could mean choosing transparency over self-protection, or approaching disagreements with a genuine willingness to understand perspectives that have not yet been considered. The unknown becomes a reminder to keep questioning, keep learning, and keep acting in good faith, rather than clinging to certainty. It does not need souls, heavens, divine plans, or hidden supernatural machinery. It begins with a simpler and, frankly, more honest admission. We do not know everything. Not even close. That admission is not bleak. It is energizing. The unknown gives us work to do. It gives science its horizon, philosophy its bite, art its depth, and personal growth some room to breathe. It reminds us that certainty is often cheap, while understanding is usually earned the hard way. Reverence, here, is not passive worship. It is not a misty-eyed surrender. It is the posture of a finite mind before an unfinished universe, choosing respect and curiosity over fantasy. That is Mystrikism's Trinity of the unknown: awe without superstition, purpose without divine command, and a higher power without a god behind it. Not a final answer. A reason to keep looking.